Hello everyone and welcome back to LSI F1 World Championship. We're here today for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Round 4 out of 16. We're a couple races in, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking for a very interesting race here today. I will admit, I don't know how it's quite going to go. But yeah, I'm excited. Imola, as some may know, San Marino if you like as well. It's a very tricky circuit to get around as we once again go on board with somebody that hasn't set a lap yet. We'll go on board with not Nifo. That is Dougie Falcons who's about to set a lap. We'll just stay on board with Nifo, why not? They're in the home team car if you like. Obviously it's not the Red Bull, but it is a team that is based in Imola, I'm pretty sure. But anyway, enough of that. We're about to get ready to go for a lap. We've got 11 minutes remaining of the session. Jacob currently tops the times of 15.2. A couple new drivers in for today's race and permanently in the championship. We've got Wesley Caspers in P2 for Alpine, and we have Jesse Passanen in P18, but they haven't set a lap time before DNFing. That is unfortunate for them, but it is what it is. We will watch on board now with Nifojan as they head to turn 2, this is. Get it stopped in time. Don't get too greedy because it will give you a lot of understeer into the next one. Now we head down to 5 and 6. Another corner very similar to 2, 3 and 4. But get through it quite nicely. You've got to really get as wide as you can without invalidating going into the gravel. Up through 7. Lovely hairpin. That will be a possible opportunity to overtake during the racing. Through 8. Up to 9 now. Really high speed, get it right to the edge as they do lovely stuff into Aqua Minerale. I just about pronounced that correctly. A bit of understeer, but just get on the throttles more important. A bit squirmy, unfortunately. They'll head into turn 14 and 15 as they get to the almighty mountain chicane, let's say. A little bit of oversteer, but nothing too much to worry about. Got a car ahead that they will want to move out the way. They've got to move out the way. They've got to move out the way. They've moved into the way. And who was that? Was that, that was PJ not looking where they were going. So that is Nifojan automatically not getting that lap in. And PJ's going to be in a bit of trouble after the race, unfortunately. That's going to be a penalty. Pretty straightforward penalty as well. I do apologise for PJ, but what's done is done. They just have to focus on the now. Let's have a look. We got PJ on the lap, of course. We'll watch on board. See what the other drivers are doing. Of course, Jacob still tops the time. So 15.2. A 14.4 is what they set in time trial. Now, they were 4 tenths quicker than everybody else. The next quickest time, I think it was with Wesley Caspers. A lot of drivers actually set similar lap times. It was Wesley Caspers, maybe Luke as well, possibly Sven and I definitely did. All 4 tenths behind with a 14.8. We had Nifo and Zingy around about a 14.9 or a 15-ish area. So those are the times we're looking at for time trial, and that's how we can compare it to this situation. Like Cloud on track, so it's not exactly perfect conditions. That might be a little bit of an issue. I need to uninstall the game because I have no force feedback. Oh dear. Are you able to get it back ready for the race? PJ goes and sets a lap time. 10th at the moment, a 16.2. Now, we will see what else can we get here. Does Wesley Caspers... He hasn't got another lap in. He's validated on that one. Unfortunately, we got Luke, who's about to start one. I was going to go on with Quibus, but we'll go on board with Luke. Reserve driver, although they've competed in 3 out of 4 races this season, so doing a pretty good job. They missed out on the win last time around. Dream took that after post-race penalties. Luke very squirmy over the line. Of course, they had a bit of a scuffle with themselves and a Daisy last time. A Daisy, another reserve driver. A Daisy got some penalties after that one, which did demote them. So effectively could have lost Luke the win to that race. Let's see if he can get redemption today. First of all, qualifying Imola. It is really important that you do get a good qualifying run on this circuit because it's so difficult to overtake. 1 DRS straight, which is the start-finish straight. I think we might see a couple people using some low downforce setups to try and benefit of that. We could see some high downforce setups as well, though, as people try to run away. We'll have to see, and especially what these guys are going to start on tyre-wise. Now, down the hill we go. Let's see how they do it. A little bit of a lift, and up the hill they go. Lovely stuff on the throttle. Straighten the car up so you can get as much traction as you possibly can on the throttle. Ride that curb, you've got to sacrifice the entry for the exit, and then onto the throttle smoothly. Get into the final few corners now. Lovely 90 degree 2 corners. Very difficult right here. It's just weirdly difficult. Downhill, of course, and a 90 degree turn isn't easy. And now they can relax as they get to the line. What's it going to be? A P2 Very, very close to Jacob Adojak, but it's not enough to get to Jacob right now. He's improving by a tiny bit, it says. We'll see as he crosses the line to start Sector 3. It's up by a tenth, actually, so not a bit, it is a tenth. This would be nicely, can we see Jacob get to the 14s by the end of qualifying. They've got enough time for this lap and probably another one, and that would probably be it. A little bit of lag, which is interesting. No complaints so far. So we should be good to go. Jacob crosses the line. What's it going to be? 15.0 in the end. They did improve a little bit more in that final sector, but not quite enough to get to the 14s. As that's Zingy putting themselves into 6th with a 15.5. Their teammate right there. Down in 6th. Let's see what Zingy can do. Very, very good at this track in the past, obviously. One of their favourites as well. Hopefully we can see them do well. I'm looking for a bit of a different button. No, wrong one. I'm trying to figure out what it is. Is it right control? Go into... No. Okay. I'm not going to bother risking it. I'm going to have to skim through. I want to go on board with Niffa. We saw them trying to settle up earlier on. They're going for another one right now. They haven't set one yet, so they just need to get a banker in. Otherwise, they could be in a small bit of trouble. A small bit of trouble. Alrighty. Sorry for the delay. And Nifo is round. I missed that, but it is what it is. I'm sure they're happy that I missed that. We will go on board with somebody else. As that is P9, I believe, Dream on the lap. Purple in the middle sector there. Lovely stuff. Let's get them into the final one. Very, very tight on that final corner of the chicane. Now we head back down the hill for the final time. You're going to prepare yourself for the heavy braking zone. Trail brake as you get the car rotated. Once again, a bit of a trail braking. Just a dab on the brakes for that one. Onto the throttle. Trying to keep that minimum speed up as high as possible. Across the line they go. And that's a P6 right behind their teammate right now. Very, very close margins. And actually, Quibus and Sven Nydam have set exactly identical laps. How about that? That is brilliant to see between those guys. Lovely, lovely. It can't get any closer than that. It's just a fact. We'll have to see what these guys do in a little bit. We've got Matthew Wiley, of course, in Ferrari. They want to get a good result as they're the home country. They missed out the last race, of course, and they had some issues in the races before that. So hopefully we can see them get back on the rise, because it's not been an ideal start to the season for Ferrari. I don't know if they've actually scored any points, either Ferraris, and Philemon actually has dropped out because of all the issues. They've had a problem every single race, and all this lag, a purple middle sector for Matthew Wiley, so unless they put an absolute blinder in, maybe we've just got a bit of a bug. Because we saw it with Dream, of course, just a minute ago. Now we get into the final sector now. I do really notice this lag, and I do apologise for it, but there's nothing I can do. I'm not really running anything extra. Is what it is. Matthew Wiley goes across the line, and it puts him in P8 there. We do have Vibes also racing as a reserve driver today, followed by Marco as well, a reserve, and then Robbo as well. Hopefully David can get back into the race. They've had some issues with their game. They've had to uninstall it and reinstall it. Luckily, their internet's pretty good, so hopefully it won't take too long. But yeah, not ideal. Alrighty. Sorry, a minute. Should be good to go. Let's see who we can go on board with. Castle right now in P9. Good to see them back on the scene. Had a bit of a tough time at Italy around in Monza, but we'll see if they can have another good crack at a possible podium maybe. I don't know. We'll be optimistic. We'll try and see them further up, because that would be nice to see for sure. Lots of people out now on their final laps of the race. Almost everyone, to be honest, out on the circuit. just the few that aren't, and that is who going off the circuit. That is, I believe, Eager Pro. Yes, it is Eager Pro. Unfortunately, in a bit of trouble. We'll see with Cisco going across the line. So set their probably final lap of the race or the qualifying session. And it doesn't push them up anywhere. They're not going to actually improve. So are they going to go for another lap here? It's quite possible that they do. Actually, we might not have even set a lap. That's why it's not giving us a delta. They've got a car up ahead, which isn't ideal. They are warming up their tyres. And once again, that's the Williams of PJ not moving out the way. So PJ does need to have a look behind him, unfortunately. I do hate to say it, but yeah, he needs to make sure that he knows what's going on, because that means Cisco might not get another lap in. Eager Pro retires from the session in the pit lane. Now I want to have a look at the current pole sitter as he goes for his final lap. What's it going to be? Is he going to be able to improve and defend this? Try and maybe secure a pole position? Goes wide, interestingly. Is it going to be an improvement? It is. Lovely, lovely stuff. No, it's not apparently. It's not going to be an improvement. We're going to go once again and see what we can find for Jacob Adamczak. I don't know who else is on the lap. Looks like a Haas might be starting or crossing the line to go. No, they're not. Interesting. Lovely bugs from Codemasters. We can't actually see who are on outlaps or not. We will continue to watch with the current pole man, but he's made a mistake. I don't believe it. Made a mistake out of turn 7, and that is it. That is it. Over. He's got to hope that no one improves over into the 14-second zone. We'll have to see. We've got Luke currently sitting in P2. Goes down the hill. Lightly lifting, braking, a dab on the brakes. You don't want to brake too hard. The understeer would be insane. Onto the throttle, into the final chicane. Hopefully no one tries to overtake later on in that one, but we carry on through. Luke will continue, as that is Sven and Naiden not going to be able to get any further. That is them out, and the other McLaren of Marco dodges out of the way. Wesley Caspers looks for pole. Is Luke going to be able to improve and take it from him? He's not. He's not. It's going to be Wesley Caspers on pole, is it? Dream will not improve. Cisco, I don't think they're going to improve. Marco definitely won't improve. That's that. That is it. Qualifying is over, and Wesley Caspers puts it on pole position on debut for LSI. How about that? Alpine starting with one driver in the Netherlands for the first round of the season. They've got their second one, and they're liking him pretty nicely right now. That is both Alpines in the top 5 starting today's race. Alpine are going to be strong this season. Mercedes have got some more competition. AlphaTauri, they've been strong. Haas have been very strong as well. And Alpine now have another contender to get into not only the drivers' fight, but definitely try and secure some good constructors' points. I'm a little bit concerned about this lag, but hopefully it shouldn't be a worry. Wesley Caspers puts it on pole position. How about that? What a legend on debut. Wesley Casper puts it on pole position. We've got Jacob Adamczak in P2, Luke in P3. That's the top 3, and then we'll skim through the rest of the grid. And we will look at the race director just in case if we need to. And then we'll head through the incident section just in case again. And then we'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1 World Championship. We're today for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. We're on the formation lap about to get started. Wesley Caspers lines it up on pole position for the race. We have Jacob Adejak in P2, Luke in P3, followed by Sven Nydam in P4. Then we have Quibus, Dream, Nifojan, Dougie Falcons in P8, Zingy in P9. Finishing off the top 10 is Matthew Wiley. Then we have Casper Sky, Cisco, PJ, Robbo, Vibes, Iga Pro, Marco, Davin, and Jesse Passanen in P18 and 19 for both Red Bulls. Now, looking at today's strategy, it's a pretty standard one. There's not really much you can do. It's, of course, once again going to be a mix of hard and medium tire runners. Luke going for that more aggressive strategy to begin with. Matthew Wiley having some issues getting into the lobby, unfortunately. But anyway, of course, yeah, Luke on that medium tire. We have Dream on the medium tire. Lots of people further behind also want to try and get a jump. So the top two looking for that hard tire. Luke's going to probably be there on the start. As long as they can nail a good exit, they shouldn't really have much contention or contestation, if that makes sense. So that kind of makes me uneasy that we might get a three-wide moment into turn one. We'll have to see. We're also going to be looking at some very interesting positions that these drivers angle themselves in when they get to their grid slots, of course, because what's it going to be called? Of course, the track angles right just off the start line. Alrighty. Getting lined up on the grid. Let's see that angle. Angling right to the right-hand side. Lovely stuff. Alright everyone, hold your breath, clench your butt cheeks as we're about to go racing for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Ready? Hold. Go! Who's gonna get it off the line and drive through penalty for Casper Sky? I don't believe it! I don't believe it! Oh, it looks like a really good start from the Alpine, but Jacob Adeshap's bogged down. Luke's gonna be fighting into turn one. Is he gonna be able to get there? Yes, he will. No, he's just gonna have to back off, and what has gone on there? Sven Nydam's round as somebody else, that's a Haas, absolutely plummeting into the wall. I don't know what just happened, and that's Wesley Caps is having to go defensive as Luke's really trying to get in on the action. Jacob even has a look as well. Quibus in P4, Zingy up to P5 after all of that. Nifo P6, Robbo somehow getting to P7. Sven Nydam and Dream all dropping down the order. What on earth just happened into turn one? That was incredible from those guys. Dream really far down the order. PJ also been affected by something. Casper Sky, of course, going to have to serve a drive-through very, very soon. But that's the current order. Is that going to be a safety car, as that's Casper Sky, I believe, spinning? So not ideal for the start. Will Luke have a look into the final corners? He wants to make these mediums work, but to be fair, it's a long race, so he doesn't need to risk anything at this stage. Just needs to get that start phase done, and then he'll have to be able to push. And look, he's already pushing for it. He knows what he's got to do. He's just got to get it done. Wesley Caspers leads onto lap 1, but Luke will take the lead as we get to lap 2. Jacob just lost that, of course, P2 off the line, but they're still right behind these guys. Quibus in P4, they're in DRS range, but they still need to hold on for another 2 laps if they want to actually feel the advantage of it. Zingy, amazing job from P9 to P5 off the line. We have Nifo in P6, Robbo, that's absolutely incredible from going towards the back up to P7. Dougie Falcons in P8, we've got Cisco in P9, Davin up from P18 all the way to 10th place. Matthew Wiley, unfortunately, has had to retire. Oh no, they've been DSQ'd from the session. That's an interesting one for sure. I didn't expect that at all, but yeah, further down the order, we've just had a couple of issues. So Nydam, luckily, catching back up to the field as these guys are so close. It's such a difficult circuit to, of course, fight at with only one straight. there is a lot of time to be gained in those corners when people are in dirty air. So luckily for him, this is a good circuit to lose a lot of time. As we have now gone to a reduced damage model, hopefully didn't get any body damage from that, of course. Now, Wesley Caspers not looking to be pressured by Jacob Adamjak. Jacob was almost in trouble because Quibus was so close. These guys are very, very close. Of course, we've got a big train. We've got Robbo right there ending the train, and then we have Dougie Falcons a little bit further behind. Robbo on that medium tire. He needs to try and make some moves if he wants to make it work. As a reserve driver, though, he doesn't need to risk too much. Just trying to get that time in on the track, of course. Right now, it looks like a pretty easy situation for Luke. He's doing what he needs to do with this medium tire. So perfect stuff from him. These guys, though, in the DRS train, if they don't slow each other down, they're going to be in a massive slipstream train. Jacob, once again, seeming to lose to Wesley in the corners. That does mean the Alpine is probably on a high downforce setup, whereas Jacobs might be looking at a slightly lower one. Has to go off the circuit, makes a mistake. And Quibus is going to recognise that and think he's a bit vulnerable right now, maybe feeling the pressure. This might be time to go for a move, because DRS will be available very shortly. Now, Matthew Wiley in big trouble after that one. It's such a shame to see them have more issues. I will have to speak to them after the race and try and solve something, because this is getting ridiculous now. Zingy has just sat behind these guys right now. A bit of a gap, nothing too much to worry about. But yeah, he's sitting there relaxing at the moment. It's pretty tough at the moment in this DRS train, especially for these top two. What is that lag, honestly? That's incredible to watch. It's so crazy, but it is what it is. Wesley Caspers leads the way. 2 seconds is now the gap that Luke has to the rest of the field. As that is a yellow, I believe the Red Bull of Davin has spun at the hairpin. I don't know if that was contact between a couple drivers, or if that is just a spin from Davin. I have absolutely no idea. Wesley still leads the way. There's a bit of a gap, 8 tenths. Might be in trouble, Jacob, if he's not careful here. He's going to lose DRS. So close, but Jacob gets a bit of a straight to bring it back, of course, into the braking zone. Wesley kind of brings it back again to a close range, but it's too late. He's already got that DRS range. And let's see, from 1 second mark, how much is he going to gain on this straight? Look at the car ahead. 7 tenths, 3 tenths. 4 tenths, 5 tenths, 6 tenths, almost 7 tenths on that straight that they've just gained. So that is absolutely incredible. Right now, we can't really tell if it's just me lagging or not. It seems like it is. Most drivers seem to be alright right now. We've got Dougie Falcons in P8. Then there's a big gap as Marco is in P9, and Sven slowly making their way through the order. You've got Vibes, Igapro, Jesse Petanen in P13 fighting with their teammate as they actually back off. They've got damage, unfortunately. Dream, he's making his way back at the order. And I don't know what's gone on with the 2 Red Bulls, but they are not having a good day today. Not ideal at all. Jesse Petanen's going to be right there. That's PJ retiring from the session. And that's just before turn 7. Could that be a yellow? Could that be a not a penalty, a possible safety car? No, it's not. And that's Davin going off the circuit. Going to get a 3 second for that. That's pretty straightforward. I don't know why they just drove off the circuit. It was a weird one. They don't have damage, so I'm a bit confused at what's going on here with Davin. Whereas Jesse Pesanen does have damage. So, yeah, hopefully we can see them get back into the pit lane and get a fresh set of hards on. See if they can get back into the race later on, possibly. It is quite possible. Luke, 1.9 seconds is the gap, so he's lost 10th. Not sure if that's just a bit of a mistake recently or if that's anything to worry about. Jacob maintains the gap behind once again, looking like a very high downforce setup for Jacob. Not sure if he's pushing to go for a move. At this stage he wouldn't be, but what I'm saying is, does he have more in the tank to go, or is he just in this position where he can't actually get past Wesley and he just has to sit behind. Casper's in the Alpine, leading the way. Bit of a moment as we headed up the hill just then, but nothing too much to worry about, I'm sure. Quibus is very, very... he's in a difficult situation. He's in a Mercedes sandwich at the moment, and these guys are going to be really looking for... well, I say that. They might not want to sacrifice Jacob's second in the slipstream train for one position from Zingy. We'll have to see how it goes later on. That's Jacob looking very, very close. No ERS left as he's flashing. Goes defensive, does Casper's, and Adam Jack will not be able to go for a move right now. Once again, the downforce is just not there. They're going to have to send it on the brakes into the hairpin or wait. And yeah, they need to secure a really good exit and wait for Caspers to get a bad exit. That's their best bet at the moment. So they're really struggling for an opportunity to arise. At the moment, it's just a waiting game. We're on lap 7 out of 82. And for the hards, you're going to see about lap 17 to 21, maybe 22 if possible, for the hard tyres. It's going to be around about 15 to 17, I'd say, on the medium tyres. That's a yellow for Bravo, unfortunately, on that medium tyre. So that's going to be a big hit for them, unfortunately. They're going to have to wait for everybody to get past before they can rejoin the circuit. And yeah, hopefully they can get back in this. But that's not what we want to see, of course. Jacob Adam Jack going to get a second opportunity here, possibly. Those guys really extending that final corner. Maybe you are able to do it. Gaining is the Mercedes, but not enough. It's just a bit of a standard situation. Vibes has had an issue as well now on the final corner. And that's Robbo speeding in the pit lane. Going a little bit too cheeky on that speedometer though. Jacob has to try and save some ERS. Let's watch on board to see if he does have a flashing light. He does have a flashing light, whereas Wesley doesn't. So Wesley looks in a pretty good shape at the moment. He's able to use sector 2 and 3 to, of course, gain loads of time on Jacob, such as this corner. This is going to be absolutely mega for him compared to Jacob. Then Jacob will catch it all back up onto the straight. So they're in very different situations. I would say that Jacob's probably in a better situation for overtaking. It's just, will they be able to maintain it? That's Casper Sky, unfortunately, making a mistake, and that is now them lapped by the front runners. So not an ideal situation for them to be in. Another difficult race. Maybe we can see them back in to it later on. Never say never. Remember, we had a race winner before, and they were a lap down just a couple laps before. It can change very, very quickly, and Casper Sai does retire from the session in the pit lane. No safety car will be deployed, but that is going to be their race over. Wesley Caspers now 1.7 seconds, looking to stabilise the gap to Luke, so maybe it's already time that the medium tyres are kind of equalising. So 8 laps on the mediums look like it's going to be difficult for them to carry on. That will be good knowledge for Luke for later on in the race, of course. He can now figure out when he needs to pit and when it will be most beneficial to push when we get to the final stages of the race. He's going to have to probably push from very early on to try and get through any cars that he has ahead. That's if he doesn't get an undercut or such. He's got to be careful that he doesn't let these guys in the DRS train as well, because that will help them massively. But of course, he doesn't want to pit too early, so he's got to do something here. He's got to do something a little bit magical. And we have Jacob really close to these guys. Bit of a mistake, so that's going to allow Caspers to relax, I should say, nicely. Could Quibus have a look? No, I don't think so. They will recognise that Jacob's battery is very, very low. But no, it does look like Jacob's actually having, once again, another opportunity at Caspers. That is just showing how low his downforce setup is. And Marker retires on the exit of the hairpin. Would that be a safety car? This would be phenomenal for the likes of Luke. It won't be a safety car. It won't be a safety car. It's just on the exit. Actually, that might be a voluntary retirement on the circuit, but it is what it is. Nothing we can do about it now. Now, once again, Jacob just holding this train. Obviously, they're the one to make the overtakes if anybody's going to make the overtakes. The DRS isn't exactly that powerful, but the train is even more powerful than DRS. Zingy, 8 tenths behind, 9 tenths behind, has to get that back if he wants to stay in the train. Otherwise, he's going to lose it massively. That's a big mistake from Kaspers as he gains it back. This is Jacob's opportunity now. He's nice and close, 4 tenths away. And at that rate, if we've seen what we've seen so far, 6 tenths now, he should be good to go. He's going to have a very nice opportunity at making a move here. Gonna use probably what he can energy-wise. Got the low wing setup. Gonna have another look on the outside of the circuit. Goes the wide way round, but once again just can't make it through. He's closer than ever. But yet again, he's just got that downforce advantage, and that's Quibus on the inside, putting the pressure on right there. Didn't expect that one. He knows that if these guys are going to fight, he needs to be there as well to pick up the scraps. He doesn't manage to get it done, but he has just reminded Jacob Adam-Jacques that if he does go for that move, he's going to be right there with him. So he can't afford to make any mistakes. Jacob's got to make a move at a very calculated risk to reward situation, I guess you could say. Bit of waffle going on there. Come on, Gilly, indeed. Now, no innuendo. Robbo in fastest lap, I should say. So, getting on those soft tyres to try and get that pace up. Quibus might want to have a look here. Don't know what they're running downforce-wise, but they were so close to the cars ahead. That's either because he's also on a low downforce setup, or because he is looking for a move is Jacob. Sorry, mine went blank. Looks to the outside line this time. Does try to stick his nose in contact. And Quibus will get their breakthrough. Has to back off and they're going to lose the run. I think he has a quick look, but it's not enough. As I was going to say, Quibus, I don't know if they were running high downforce or not. Goes defensive to Zingy. Zingy has a look around the outside. Will he have a go? But no, Nifo! Nifo's come through! And Zingy's been caught napping side by side as they go up the hill. He has the disadvantage. He has to back off, does Nifo. We still have a long way to go in this race, but he had a look. It's getting very, very spicy. The pit stops aren't quite there yet, but they're already looking for possible moves. If it makes a bit of a mistake, but there's nothing to worry about too much. Of course, he's got all these cars ahead. In that regard, he should be able to catch up. It's going to be difficult to keep on the straights in the corners, like we saw with Sven. He will be able to catch up. 8 seconds is the gap. So that's a big, painful gap that Sven has right now. Wesley Kaspers, though, has a nice little gap between themselves and Jacob Adam-Jacques. Vibes retires from the session in the pit lane. Another retirement is done. Jacob does just about get DRS, actually. Quibus is pretty equal, I guess you could say, on straight line speed if we just saw anything from that on board. But I think what it is whenever Jacob goes for the move on the car ahead, he's able to get a benefit from that and get a possible better run. But yeah, the top 6 very close together. Sven has the gap, but lots of people retire from the session, unfortunately. So that's many voluntary retirements. That's not going to score them any points. They've automatically put themselves out of contention, and that'll be a big hit to the championship, and it's going to definitely hurt them later on. I know in the moment it doesn't feel like it's worth carrying on, but you'll thank yourself later. I've been in the same situation myself. I know I'm not the best driver in the world, but I've driven in a league, and it does help if you finish races. Now, Quibus, once again, looking to see if Jacob's going to be vulnerable. Jacob really pushing it on the DRS range, of course. 9 tenths, and they're almost losing it on the last lap. They'll catch it back up, and they'll be able to get right there again But if they do make another mistake, Jacob, Wesley will possibly find a way to push, find an opportunity to push, because it doesn't look like they're struggling on the ERS from the back of their car at least. But Quibus is... We did just see a flashing light, I think. They might be in trouble. Luke, they lost time earlier on, but they've managed to maintain the gap, so the scare that I had earlier on has immediately disappeared. I just haven't got round to mentioning it yet, but Luke in a good position right now, might start to lose a bit of pace here at this stage of the race. That'll be very, very good data for these guys, and of course to Luke of when he wants to pit, because he knows that these hard tyres will have the advantage of once you've got to a certain number of laps. Very, very close is Wesley Caspers, and he might have DRS here. Jacob's got to push if he wants to get that DRS, and I don't think he's going to get it. He just might have it here. Wesley Casper's looking for the DRS. He's looking as they go to the pit lane immediately. They've recognised that he's got the DRS. He hasn't got the DRS, but it wasn't worth the risk. And somehow Jacob has managed to nab it back by the skin of his teeth. That's very, very lucky. And Wesley Casper's denied the chance of slipstream. We'll go on board and see with Luke as he comes out the pit lane on a set of hard tyres. Very, very standard. Where's he gonna leave that pit lane? Is it gonna be in clean air, or is Davin gonna try and challenge him here on the exit? Davin will get the position. It's gonna be fairly straightforward here. He'll have that run. As now... Oh, Jacob Adamjack's retired! Jacob Adamjack's retired! Once again, on the exit of turn 7, I don't believe it! On the exit of turn 7, we saw them in quali, and that is now Jacob Adamjack retiring from the Imola Grand Prix! No way! A VSL's a full safety car has just been deployed! That's going to change everything! Davin... is in P7. Luke has just been absolutely ruined by that timing. I do not believe it. I do not believe it. Another bad day for Jacob Adamjack. That's now 3 out of 4 races with no points. A DNS at the start of the season. A DSQ by the game in round 3, and round 4 is a DNF. I do not believe it. Everybody enters the pit lane, and Wesley Caspers, out of all the heat, has got distracted and got himself a 5-second time penalty. What is going on? What is going on? Quibus, are they going to get P2? No, that's going to be Zingy's P2. No! No, he wasn't in P2 anyway, Zingy. So it's gonna be Quibus right there. Luke, where's he gonna end up? He's gonna jump Sven, but he's not gonna get anybody else here. He might be able to get ahead of Nifo. No, he's lost it. He's lost it. Oh, that is such a shame. Luke, however, will be right there with these guys, so he still has a good opportunity. If he can hold on to the DRS train, then he will be loving it, of course. So, as we saw, Wesley Caspers and Luke, they were pretty equal on downforce. They weren't really gaining or losing too much from one another, I guess you could say. Was absolutely mental. I'm going to see if we can get any info on what just happened. Unfortunately, for the 5th time today, my phone has crashed. So I'm going to have to re-log in, and hopefully I can get some info on what the situation is. But Wesley Caspers leads the way with a 5-second time penalty. Will he serve that now, or is he just going to hold it? I have a sneaky suspicion that he's going to go and serve it. I know I would probably try and do that, but that's me, and I'm not a genius like these guys are. So, it is what it is. So that is Wesley Caspers might have been involved in a little bit of contact, possibly. That could be why Jacob is out of this race. That's what they're suggesting in the chat. That is that done, unfortunately. So we'll have to look at it after the race. Nothing we can do now, so time will tell. But yeah, that's that. Sven Nydam, back into contention here. Looking good for them. They need to jump ahead of Luke, though, if they want to hold on. Luke, though, will want to maintain the DRS train, of course. They can't afford to lose a position to David. We'll have to see how it goes. Interesting situation for Robbo. They have a bit of an issue with the notifications. Not sure how much they can do about that. But yeah, that's a couple of pretty major incidents that we've had. Not ideal at all. But at this stage, we can't really do anything about it. It is what it is. Alrighty. Wesley Capsers leads the way. Didn't decide to go into the pit lane, so he is going to maintain that lead. Quibus in P2 for Hart, Zingy in P3. We got Nefo in P4, followed by Luke in P5, Sven, Dave in Egapro, Dougie Falcons in P9, Cisco in P10. Then we have Dream. I want to have a look at what their situation is. They've disconnected. They've just rejoined. I saw them rejoin the session. I don't know when they disconnected. They're back into it. They do have some fairly fresh tyres. They should be good to go to the end. We've got Jesse Prasanam in P12. They are on a very interesting strategy tool here. They're on to the softs, which is going to be questionable. They're not going to be able to go that far. It's about 8 laps. Robbo leaves the session. Not ideal for them. Strange situation to be in, but once again, nothing I can do until after the race and do an investigation to see what's going on. I need to do that, of course, with Matty Riley to see if we can figure out what's going on with their computer, but is what it is. Maybe it's just a Ferrari curse. We don't quite know. Safety car will be in at the end of this lap. We'll once again go racing for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix, and we'll see what Quibus can do on the start. Of course, Wesley Casper's looking like the fastest driver out of the train. Of course, he had the advantage of being in front around Imola, but he does have a 5 seconds, so Quibus, he could sit behind Wesley Caspers. The chances of getting a 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane removed is very, very unlikely. So it could be a thing to consider. Although Zingy, yes, he dropped back a little bit a couple times, but he was right close to Quibus a couple times as well. So he has to. Zingy sees Quibus sitting behind Wesley Caspers, then Zingy will want to get through. But time will tell. We'll see what's going on. Jacob Ratnell not in this race, of course. And that's one less driver from the train that we had earlier on. Back into the train, though, is Sven. Back into the train is everyone. Let's see how it goes. When will Wesley Caspers go for the restart, of course? The safety car into the pit lane now. There you go. And you can go whenever he wants from now on. Time will tell. So slow as Quibus almost makes contact and he gets not an ideal start. And Zingy is going to have an opportunity. He's going to have to push everything, but no. He backs off, gets back into the slipstream. Is he going to have a second attempt as we see Sven Nydam getting in this one? And what is Luke doing? Sven Nydam goes off the circuit as Luke sends it up on the inside. What the hell was that? As they really try and take advantage of this situation. Nifo right behind these guys as it's bit glitchy, and that is a driver off the back, and Davin goes into the wall on the restart, and a 5-second time penalty for Zingy for gaining a place off track, which is very strange. Quibus automatically loses DRS of the car ahead. Not even going to get DRS at all at this stage. Zingy in P3, Nifo in P4 maintains the position. Luke into P5. That was very hectic. I don't quite know what just happened there. What on earth just happened there? Cars going off the circuit and coming back on. Interesting situation to be in. And then, of course, we got to the second chicane. Some more shenanigans happened, and yeah, that's a strange one for sure. Wesley Casper's in the lead with a fastest lap, so lovely stuff to see them doing well. We have Niffo right behind, just spots his braking point here, and that's Luke getting passed by Sven Nydam. Sven really wants to make this move. He knows what he's got to do if he wants to get into that DRS train, of course. Luke really sent it on the inside on that hard tyre, which is strange to see that he's risking that much at that position or at this stage of the race. He's going to have the benefit of pace later on. So yeah, I was very confused to see that he's risking pretty much his entire race in that one moment. Now, Sven's going to have to try and catch up. Don't know if they were involved in a little bit of a sticky situation on the restart. Looked like their car did go off the circuit for a moment. It was a little bit difficult to see from our camera view. Niffo right behind Zingy here. There's a bit of a gap between Zingy and himself to Quibus. So the current top three are all not evenly split, but they're all out of DRS of one another. So Zingy all of a sudden finding himself the lead of a train. Wesley Casper's go for another fastest lap in a row. Lovely stuff to see. Would Niffo consider a move already? I'm not sure. They're not going to go for it now. They would have already powered on with the ERS, of course, if they were going to go for that. Very difficult to see what's going on with the drivers with this lag. It's incredible to see. What I am going to do is quickly pause the stream, just get that report code, and then I will be on my way. We should be good to go. Now, what is going on at this stage of the race? Right, let's look at the tyres. 5-lap-old medium tyres. These guys have had a couple laps under the safety car as well, of course. A little bit earlier than they'd probably like, so they're going to have a slight disadvantage as well. Cisco loses the car just at like turn 9 or something, as that is also Robbo losing the car on the exit of the hairpin. Not ideal for them at all. Alrighty. Niffo in P4. Once again, right behind Zingy. Zingy not in the DRS of the car ahead. And the train is now up to him. So Zingy's going to be conducting this one. DRS will be available for Niffo. Niffo's very close. He's going to look for a move. No question about it. Already getting alongside. Going to have the position before they get to turn 2. Zingy's not going to be in a position to fight it because 1, he doesn't have the overspeed, and 2, he's not close enough. So ERS though, not looking too favourable for actually both drivers. So it is about DRS and setup at this stage of the race. Maybe if Niffo is that quick, it might be a nice bit of data that Zingy can gather during the race and find out if he's using a high downforce situation on the setup. Bit of a jumble of words there, but we've managed to get it out. Sven is just about within DRS range. They need to get a little bit closer to secure it, of course. They're on the equal tyres to these guys. Zingy has got a time penalty. I think that might get removed. Wesley Casper's, I don't think will get removed. So that's something to consider for later on. When Zingy crosses the line, don't think it's over. He might not have that as a final race position, if that makes sense. Sven does catch up to the pack now. Good to see them back into the race for the first time despite all the controversy. Back in this race. Now, looking at the cars ahead, despite the lag, we're on board and it doesn't look so bad. As Zingy backs off, he's not going to fight Niffo. It's not worth it. Sven, he's going to see that and realise that these guys are giving them each other a little bit of leniency. Sven's not going to like it. He will want to get through sooner rather than later. And of course, if you can get into second into the DRS train, you'll have a big advantage. And he's going to have a look to the inside, sends it in. Bit of a wheel bang, as that's a bit of a ghosting situation. They unghost and now go up the hill to turn 9 and 10. Who's going to have it? They have the inside line, really going to try their best. It's so marginal. Zingy has the inside line now. I don't know. Still trying to go side by side up the hill, and they've done it. Lovely, lovely stuff. Masterclass from these two guys, but still, no one's ahead. Zingy has the inside line. Sven has to back off. Well fought from Zingy, but is that DRS gone? That is DRS gone. And Sven now is going to have an easy opportunity at Zingy. Nifo is in an awesome position for clean air. They're going to have some time to relax. Looking pretty tricky on the track limits as they enter turn 16. But now, let's see. Sven going to be right there, nice and close. DRS compared to Zingy's no DRS. ERS as well, but they've got nothing in it with the energy. Struggling so much around this circuit. Sven is up ahead. Zingy's going to be furious with that one, but it's nothing that he can really do at this stage. He's got to hope now that Sven has the pace to catch up back to the cars ahead, and Zingy can benefit off the DRS. We'll have to see how it goes, but yeah, Zingy's not going to be too impressed with that as he drops down. Remember, that 5-second time penalty might not be a factor later on. We've got Luke in P6, and yeah, they're in a good position. They're just sitting in clean air at the moment, although they do have, let's have a quick look to the gap to the leader and them, an 8-second gap to catch up to the leader. So yeah, that safety car did screw them over quite hard. It's not nice to see for them, of course. It's brilliant to see for everybody else who did get the advantage from it. But the game's the game. Sometimes it goes your way and sometimes it doesn't. Once again, though, Luke in a very unlucky situation here. This guy does deserve a bit of a break. But it is what it is. You know, anything can happen. We could see a change. Zingy catches up to Sven, and they're going to have a look on the DRS. Looked like a brick wall, and that is incredible from the lag. I don't know what to say. Sven has the inside, going to try and fight it. Contact between the two, saved by the lag. Yeah, the lag doesn't look ideal from our view. I guess they're also experiencing some sort of issue, but they're ghosting, so that's kind of a benefit going through these corners. I thought that was someone making a mistake up ahead, but it is the lap car of Robbo, unfortunately for them. Now, we see the top three. Wesley Caspers, Aquibus and Nifo Jan. Nifo got himself a 3-second for exceeding track limits. So is Eva Pro earlier on, and Davin, although they're not in this race and they will not be counted. That is a retirement for Robbo on the exits of Aqua Minerale. That's not ideal, and that's another safety car. A full safety car deployed with the safety car leaving the pit exit right now. That will give Wesley Caspers a moment to try and serve this time penalty. Unfortunately for Zingy, he's also going to be serving this, but he probably didn't want to do that. It's not really fair for Zingy, but it is what it is. Unless he did get that overtake, of course, off the circuit, then it is fair. But we won't know until later on, of course. A 5-second time penalty for Dream as he speeds into the pit lane. Then you have to wait for that period of time. So Wesley Caspers, that will surely promote Quibus and Nifojan into the lead. I think Wesley Caspers will maintain the P3 though over their teammate Sven. Luke jumps, and everybody is going to be on a mad dash with the soft tyres. How about this though? Dougie Falcons is leading the way on the medium tyre, taking that risk. Really going to try and give it his best shot. He was running in about, was it 8th position or 7th, 8th position before the safety car. So they do actually class as what? I don't know what I'm saying. They don't class as anything. Dougie Falcons wasn't quite in the battle earlier on, so maybe he's thinking, you know what, if I can get up ahead, this might be my best opportunity. Nifo has a 3 seconds. They were looking good, and that's a crash. Wow. No, it's somehow all right, and that is everybody having to slow down. Where the hell did the safety car go? The safety car is all the way back here. What is going on? The safety car's in the race. Is everybody going to be able to overtake the safety car now? Yes, they will. Look at this. Everybody gets a free lap. A free lap. Dream is going to have an opportunity to serve their time penalty. What just happened? I don't know if we're going to be going racing the next lap or the lap after. Everybody's going to be able to catch up. It's going to be the lap after. Dream will be able to serve that time penalty. That'll be brilliant news for them. Davin will also be able to pit the AI going into the pit lane. But yeah, this is a weird situation to be in. Dougie Falcons, unfortunately for him, he's going to have to do another lap on his side. Actually, that's not unfortunate for him. That's great news for him. We're going to be racing not 28, it's going to be 29, so that's 4 laps remaining when we get to racing speed. So it's going to be a 4-lap sprint around Imola. That's not ideal. That's going to be pretty chaotic. But what can we do, eh? We can't do anything. We're just going to have to let it be. Alrighty. Got a couple more cars to catch up to the grid, and then we will be back ready to race on the next lap. So lap 29, I just want to double check, and I am going to be counting. I do apologise. Bit embarrassing, but it is what it is. Now, we're going to be having lap 29, 30, 31, and 32. So yes, 4 laps. I need to believe in myself a little bit more. If you ever feel like I do, believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. You might just be right. Alrighty, Dougie Falcon's going to have 4 laps to defend from the cars behind. The benefit is there's going to be about 2 laps, 3 laps actually. 3 laps because of the DRS situation, if I'm correct. That he's going to have 3 laps with no DRS, and then it's going to be 1 lap left where there will be DRS. Let's see what Dougie has got for us. If he's on a low downforce setup, he's going to be absolutely legendary. If he's on a high downforce setup, he's going to be in hell, and he's going to have to just try his best to maintain positions. Especially with that tyre wear on those medium tyres, he's not exactly going to be rapid in the corners either. So he's got a very, very tough job ahead of him. It's not impossible on 100% ERS though, so it's not like he'll have an advantage ERS-wise, which is a bit tricky, but what can you say? Quibus, he's in a phenomenal position. He's got to hope that Nifo doesn't decide to fight hard at the start. Nifo, of course, is going to be pressured by Caspers and Sven to catch up or make a move on Nifo with that time penalty because they want to go for the lead. But Nifo, with that time penalty, doesn't necessarily need to fight Quibus, but for their teammates' advantage, they would. Safety car into this lap, as expected. We're all ready to go racing once again for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Tried to pronounce it as best as I could. Now, Dougie Falcons will be leading and the one to restart this race for the first time in LSI history. Quibus will be the one to react in that Haas. Could we see a first Haas win for a long time? Or is it going to be AlphaTauri on top? We will have to wait and see. History awaits. Is he going to go for it early? Is he going to wait? It looks like he's gone for it, interestingly. Gone for it, gone for it, gone for it. Lovely. Lovely stuff. Will Quibus try and fight here? He's gaining very, very slightly, but I don't think it's enough. Dougie Falcons might have the advantage. Is he going to go defensive? He does go defensive. Goes back to the outside line just about. I'm not sure. I think that's just about fair for Dougie Falcons as he gets a love. So many cars right behind him as that's Quibus. Very, very close. Got to be careful that he doesn't doesn't compromise himself. That's the other AlphaTauri of Nifo having a look on the outside line, trying to make it the long way round, but it's not possible. And here comes Luke as he's fighting the Alpines. I think he might have just had the worst run. He's going to have to back off, and what is this connection issue? I don't know. They're just ghosting through one another. They're going to have to let it go and back off. Sven maintains the position, but Luke trying to give himself a second chance at this victory as much as possible. Wesley not getting a good exit. He's going to have the advantage, and Sven's trying to go side by side. Goes off the circuit, and he gains an advantage. I don't know. I don't believe it. Oh, what is going on? As that is Zingy trying to go around the outside. Once again, it looks like desync. That is absolutely incredible. He doesn't believe his eyes. Dreams also route. Dougie Falcons leads the way as Quibus is in P2. He's going to have a possible look here. He's got to make a move, of course. Nifo, where did they go? All the way down to P10 as well. I don't know what's happened to Nifo. Quibus not able to make a move, and to be fair, will they want to make a move at this stage? Luke retires from the session, and there's big contact, and once again D6 strikes. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say. What is going on? No. This is ridiculous. Wesley Caspers will now lead the way with Sven in P2. Alpine looking for a 1-2. That's if desync doesn't hit them again. I'm not mad at the drivers at this stage. I'm mad at the game. It's not good enough. We pay all this money each year for the same thing to happen again. I know they're working hard to improve these issues, but it's just incredible. It's incredible. Zingy, right now in P3, the top two, of course, are going to have a nice advantage. We'll see. Is Wesley going to try and push? He obviously doesn't really want his teammate to take a win. He's going for another fastest lap, so well done to him. But he should probably think about keeping his teammate in DRS for that final lap, otherwise then he might have a quick look. But yeah, don't know what to say. Very interesting situation to be in. Dougie Falcons goes to the pit lane after they had a bit of an issue with the front wing they have. Why am I questioning that? Of course they did. That big crash. They might have a look at a fastest lap, of course, with some fresher rubber. So would Quibus as well. But yeah. I'm speechless, guys. I'm so sorry for all these problems. We try to provide the best experience we possibly can, but we're plagued by this again, and it makes it impossible. And it looks very bad on the people that work the hardest to try and make everything perfect. But, yep, it is what it is. We will now be going racing for the final time. The last lap of the Grand Prix is on its way, as Wesley Caspers does slow down a little bit for his teammate to get him back into that DRS, spamming the ERS as everyone. Will Zingy have saved up here? DRS is available for both drivers. Going to be spamming everything, even if it's on 0%. Any advantage that they have, Zingy will not catch up, but he still sits in P3. Is he going to try and have a look at a move on the final lap? I don't quite know. What is the setup situation? Will he have the advantage? Will somebody make a mistake and prevent themselves from getting a podium here? I don't quite know. We've still got people further behind. EagerPro into P4. David in P5 with the time penalties, but EagerPro in P4 at this stage. Zingy wants to have a look, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Caspers is doing an insane job here, and it looks like it might be the first Alpine 1-2 of the season. That might even be the first Alpine 1-2 ever. We're going to come around the final few corners as Zingy drifts it out of the chicane, trying his best, pushing his hardest, but he's way too far back for a move. We're going to watch on with this guy, though. He's done an incredible job today. He converts pole position into a win. Wesley Caspers wins the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. What a drive. What a drive. Sven Nydam in P2 and Zingy in P3. We got Cisco up to P4. Just just say Patterson in P5? I don't even pronounce that right. Basanin in P5. Egapro P6. David Dream Nifo is going to come across the line in P9. Quibus will have to take a P10. Maybe they can get an advantage on the on fastest lap here. Dougie Falcons is going to come out of the points after all of that. I do not believe it. That is absolutely incredible. Wow. What a drive from this guy. I'll tell you what, this guy deserves everything today. From what we saw, apparently there's been a bit of controversy and might not be the case. We'll have to look at it post-race, of course. But other than that, he's done a very, very good job. Unfortunately, I don't know if this race should be classed, but it is what it is. We'll get back to the stream and talk about that later on. Wesley Caspers onto the podium for the first time, and it happens to be the top spot. They win for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Wesley Caspers wins, Sven Nydam in P2, then we have Zingy in P3, Cisco, Jesse Pasanen in P5, then Ilya Pro, Dave in Dream, Nifo Quibus, and Dougie Falcons finishing off the order. Luke does get classes finished in P12, and then we have Robbo DNFing, followed by Jacob Adamjak, Vibes, Marco, Casper Sky, PJ, followed by Matthew Wiley earlier on. And we will quickly skim through the race director just in case we need to. I'm sure we will have to take a cheeky look after the race. I do hate to say it, but it is what it is. And then we will be back for the post-race interviews. We will see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the post-race interviews of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. That was a chaotic one. We're going to for sure have to do some investigations, not only into some crashes but into the game itself. I do apologise for what we just had to witness. There was some great racing though, so that's a benefit of course. We're going to start the interviews with Cisco. Cisco, that late safety car did help you a lot there. Got some good points as of now. You happy with that one?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely happy with that one because I got absolutely crashed in like lap 5, and yeah, because the car on the inside got oversteer and it was just rammed into me, which I got front wing damage, and yeah, it was just painful. And then the first safety car helped me a lot because I could catch up. And then the second safety car was like, okay, I was in the pack, and then just like half the field in front of me crashed into each other, so I just went through that.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, you were there when it counted and it worked for you, so well done to you. Singapore, the next one, do well there.
Oh yeah, I think I can do quite well. I like the track, it's quite fun, but it will be really difficult to overtake, as it showed. Like this race was pretty chaotic to overtake, and that will be much worse. So I hope I won't end up in the wall.
I hope so too. Thank you very much. One last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
That's pure chaos.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. Well done today.
Thank you.
And we move on to Davin. Davin, not the race you wanted. There was some interesting situations that occurred. Can you take us through that?
Mysteriously, my game crashed 3 times. So I didn't left, for sure. And then everything went alright till like lap 17 when the safety car came out. It was perfect for me because I was on the mediums and I could go to the hards. Then the safety car restarted. Sven went off track because he battled in front of me, caught the corner in the first chicane, then went side to side with me, and I was on the inside and in front of him, so I thought he would give it up because he caught the corner, and he just completely dive bombed me into the corner, crashed me. I spun, my game crashed. Yeah, that was my race. And I hope my penalty gets removed because I caught a corner, but I slowed down quite a lot, to be honest.
Okay.
I let the car overtake me.
Okay, fair enough.
Not like Sven.
Hopefully we can get that removed in the reports later on. It's not ideal. There was a lot of messy stuff. There was lag from the beginning in quali, so I don't know what was going on with that. But yeah, I do apologise. On to the next one though. Hopefully your game issues are fixed, and hopefully you can get a smooth run, because I'll say your qualies have been pretty good, and you've been up there to begin with in the beginning of the races, but later on towards the end of each Grand Prix you've either had an issue or a collision. Singapore, do you think you can do well there if there's more corners and less straights for people to catch up on?
Did you just said my qualifying was good?
It has been in past races, not necessarily Imola, of course. Because
I was P17 in this race.
In past races, in other races this season. Do you think you can do well in Singapore?
Yeah, I think because I can crash Sven back.
Thank you very much. So we'll see you next time. One last question. How do you describe your race in 3 words?
Hashtag dive bomb Sven.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to the next one. Zingy. It was a tough one in that DRS train.
Thanks.
No worries. We'll move on to Nifo. Nifo, Sorry to come to you a little bit earlier than expected. You were there all the way at the beginning. Later on, there was some issues. It looked like you might have had a chance to fight with the late safety car, despite the time penalty. I don't know what happened at the end there. Of course, it looked a bit laggy and everything. Can you take us through that one?
Yeah, it wasn't my greatest race. I got a lot of bad luck. First, I got blocked in quali, like fully. This PJ was just weaving on like before the second to last corner. I just had to stomp the brakes to not get a collision. And then I bottled my last lap as well because it was like I only have one lap left, so I just wanted to be safe. So quali didn't go to plan. Then first lap, there was a lot of chaos. I guess I profited from it because I won a few positions, but I almost died a few times. Then I was just stuck in the DRS train behind Zingy for a god long time. Like I couldn't get past, and I couldn't. Yeah, we were just a constant distance from each other. Mm-hmm. Then the safety car came. It didn't really help me. If it was a little bit later, it would have helped. But yeah, it just I guess I had to deal with it. But I was fine up until now. And then the second safety car came. That didn't help as well. I should have stayed out on the mediums, I think. But I don't know. I just made the wrong call. Just went to overtake Quibus. Didn't work around the outside. Then the corner that's going up. I don't know. Just they were fighting so hard, and like the dirty air was there as well. There was so much going on. I just lost the rear, and I just lost all my chances for the victory, which was. Yeah, which just it's not fun after being in contention for the whole race. But I guess we had to move. I was just fighting for points, and then Quibus got killed by I think my teammate, and then he thought I was behind him because he was defending with no front wing against me, making me lose a lot of time, making his teammate catch up, and then making me lose another position. Which wasn't fun as well. So I don't know. I just recently I haven't really had luck, and just I keep spinning on the last few laps, which just really doesn't help me. But I don't know. Well, hopefully next week will be a bit better.
Yeah, something to work on with that, of course, and then hopefully we can have a bit better luck. We did see qualifying, so we know it was pretty unlucky right from the get-go. You did really well today. It was some great entertainment for us, so thank you very much for that. It's not the way we wanted to see your race end. Singapore street circuits. Do you like street circuits?
I don't really like street circuits, but I like Singapore, so I hope I get a good race there.
Fair enough. Awesome job today. I know it didn't end the way you wanted it to. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Just don't spin.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Great effort today.
Yeah, thank you.
And we move on to the final interview. Zingy. I think he's here. If not, then I think we'll move on. I'll give him a quick minute to respond, but if not, I think that will be the interviews over. Alrighty, thank you very much for watching. It's been a pleasure. We will see you next time tomorrow for the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix for the F1.5 Championships, of course, the EU and NA/SA Championship. We will be back next week for the Singapore Grand Prix. Not sure if there's going to be a stream for the F1 tier. There'll definitely be a stream for the F1.5 tier, so we'll see you next time, and bye-bye.